Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Kaylin Cockrell. Thanks for joining us. Spring is in the air, and that means street maintenance crews are out getting all of the sand, dirt, and debris off the roads from the winter. Street sweeping in the springtime generally takes crews about 2 to 3 weeks, weather depending. Cleaning city streets doesn't just provide safe and visually appealing roadways. There's a much larger purpose.
Purpose is to pick up the fines off the streets before they hit the waterways. The second part of street sweeping is to provide a safe environment for the motorists, particularly motorcyclists. We're trying to get the loose gravel and fines so they don't slide across the road.
Eiler says residents can help make street sweeping operations more efficient by making sure trash cans and recycle bins are off the streets. Also, do not rake your leaves, grass, or other debris into the street, as the machines aren't equipped to pick up those kinds of things. He also noted that as the temperatures are warming up, residents should go outside and take a look at their street side trees and shrubbery. Branches overhanging the streets and sidewalks will need to be trimmed. The city will trim the boulevard and city right-of-way areas, which is usually 11 feet onto the property. Log on to the city's website and keyword search SWEEP. There's a list of frequently asked questions about street sweeping, as well as an interactive map where residents can see where crews are, where they've been, and what's left to be swept. And another inevitable part of spring can often be snowmelt, causing bodies of water to overflow their banks. This time last year, several areas of spring flooding were occurring all over parts of Bloomington. These photos were taken in late March of 2011. 9 Mile Creek spent much of last spring right at bank and caused minimal flooding, never affecting any structures or homes. The Minnesota River, however, was a different story. City engineers were forced to close Lower Lindell Avenue at 106th Street after the Minnesota River swelled well over its banks, flooding the parking lot and much of the roadway near the river. The scene on Lower Lindell today looks quite a bit different than it did last year. City Civil Engineer Scott Anderson says that's thanks to the more than 86 inches of snowfall last year compared to only 24 inches we received this year. Ponds are also well below their banks in 2012. Anderson says the area has received virtually no significant precipitation since August of last year, so the grounds and ponds are dry and low. Anderson did, however, note that while the city is not anticipating any spring flood hazards, there's always the possibility of severe storms and several day stretches of rain. Mother Nature can sure be unpredictable. Bloomington Human Services partner Volunteer Enlisted to Assist People, or VEAP, recently hosted an event that filled the stomachs of attendees in order to raise money to fill the stomachs of less fortunate residents. There's nothing better than a warm bowl of soup on a cool day. And on March 21st, VEAP and Normandale Fine Arts faculty and student volunteers were busy preparing hot soup for anyone and everyone as they celebrated their long-time running event, Soups On.
We started it because we wanted to give back to the community. The Pottery Club, which I was the advisor of when we started it, we felt that we didn't have any money, but we had skills, and so our skills were to make bowls. So we started making bowls. The first year we probably had about 150 bowls. Now we have over 500, and it's just been a wonderful event for our community and our students, our faculty and staff.
For a minimum donation of $10, event attendees were able to pick out a beautiful ceramic bowl, which was then filled with a delicious lunch of either chicken wild rice or vegetable soup. The hot meal wasn't even the best part. You got to take your favorite bowl home with you.
They're a stoneware bowl, so they're nice and durable, and they have a nice durable glaze on them, and you can put them in the washing machine and eat out of them without worrying about it.
Each person eating a bowl of soup that day has fed a family of 4 people in need for a week, thanks to their donation. Faculty members, students, and the public stopped by Normandale Community College to show their support. And according to Whitstruck, getting people to the event is the easy part.
The hardest part is picking out a bowl. And I know it because I've tried to do it, and I think I should be really good at picking out a bowl, but it takes me a half hour to figure out the one I like. You'll see people walking around holding 2 or 3 bowls because they can't decide, and then eventually they buy them all, which is even better. You get a bowl of soup, you get to be fed and enjoy the kind of nice community event while you're also contributing money. And we like to do both things. We think they're both important.
The 2012 Soups On event raised $2,765. That's down a bit from last year, but event organizers have high hopes to sell more next year when the new parking ramp is completed. And if you missed the Veep Soups On event, don't worry. There's lots of events and ways you can volunteer your time and resources to helping a local family in need. Hennepin County libraries are making their mark in the digital world and are proud to unveil 2 new resources offered to library users. Last year alone, Hennepin County library staff responded to more than 800,000 reference questions. And in an effort to allow staff to answer questions in the most timely way, an old service called Ask Us has some new features.
More traditionally, people could come into a library and ask us, or they could call us on a telephone. Now the services are expanded. They can not only still come and talk to us if they prefer face-to-face, they can call us on the phone, but they can also text us from their devices. They can come in through chat, they can come in through IM. Ask Us is now available 24/7.
Whether you want to know if the library has a certain book, what homework resources are available, or to find a job opening in your area, library staff has answered it all, and they encourage residents to keep the questions coming. Here's how the Ask Us app works.
It's a free app you can download. It offers a lot of options for people on the go. They can go into their library account and deal with their holds and requests. They can even renew their materials. They can search the library catalog to find out if something is available. You can also look for locations and hours for any of our buildings. You can contact Ask Us if you have a question. Look for events and classes, find some book lists of new titles for something to read. You can also access the ebooks and e-audiobooks from the mobile app.
As online books and smart tablet use become more and more popular with readers, libraries are continually transforming to stay up to date.
Well, libraries have always moved with the changes because that's what our community expects and needs. I mean, it's not anything new. Change just happens all the time. At one point we had card catalogs. We moved to microfiche. Now we have everything's on our library catalog online. We used to have VHS, but as technology changed, the library keeps up and remains relevant to what our library users need and want to use.
The Hennepin County Library Ask Us service is yet another form of two-way communication. The city utilizes similar tools in Facebook, Twitter, and eSubscribe. Residents are encouraged to sign up for one or all of those interactive communications tools. And it's time now for a short break. When we come back, we'll find out how Bloomington is celebrating National Public Health Week. Stay right here.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I did nothing. Uh-oh. Okay, I stole a cheeseburger once on my dog.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, everyone. We're now pleased to be joined by Public Health Administrator Karen Zelsnack. Welcome, Karen. Thanks for being here today.
Well, it's nice to be back again. Thank you.
Yes. Well, it's officially spring. April is right around the corner, and it'll be here shortly. And April has the first full week of April is actually designated as National Public Health Week. Tell us about the significance of that week.
Well, Public Health Week was first declared in 1995 to recognize the contributions of public health and to highlight issues that are important to public health. And you know, public health is pretty invisible, and for the most part that's good because that means that everything's working, people's health is being protected. But you know, when things become invisible, it's like people tend to forget about them. And there are some important issues in public health that we really like to highlight during this time. So we especially want people in our community to know to focus on their health for that week. Some people think that public health is only for people who are really struggling with resources. They don't have enough money, perhaps. But it's really, and that's some of what we do, but it's really not all of what we do. Public health really affects everybody in the community.
It really does. Even from flu shots and things like that. Those are
some of the biggies, yes, to help protect your health. So nationally, Public Health Week is really a time to unite people, to join people together to really focus on some critical public health issues. And our goal is to help people live longer, healthier, and hopefully happier lives.
Absolutely. Well, you kind of nailed it on the head there. It's a time to unite around critical public health issues. What is the issue that we're focusing on this year?
Well, actually, how they have, well, the theme this year actually is A Healthier America Begins Today, Join the Movement.
Okay.
I don't know if people can have enough energy to join one more movement, but that's what the theme is for this year. And it's a call to encourage more Americans and their communities to take preventative measures to improve their lives. You know, really, there's nearly 1 million Americans dying every year from diseases that they could be prevented. And you can make several small changes, really, to help make you and the community healthier in the long run. And, you know, and actually, I've been in public health for a long time, and I'm starting to shift from not so much talking about preventing illness, but really how do we create health? Because, you know, that just seems to be it's much more inspiring to me to want to create something versus preventing something. But clearly, we need to be creating better health for all of us here.
Absolutely. Talk a bit about how our specific public health division addresses some of the issues we talked about. You know, there's obviously a lot going on with Bloomington Public Health, from, you know, things with Dewtown to SHIP. You know, talk a bit about what our public health division does here in Bloomington.
Okay, well, I'm going to step back a little bit and walk you through Public Health Week, because at the national level, they've kind of designated a theme for each day.
Absolutely.
And I'll talk about what we do for those things.
Okay.
So Monday is about active living and healthy living, and that's really promoting healthy choices in our communities, like, you know, creating more bike lanes, farmers markets, and actually the city of Bloomington does a lot in this area. And so we can talk a little bit more about that later, maybe about SHIP and Dewtown. But Tuesday is about tobacco, alcohol, and other drugs. And so we want to identify some of these disorders early and to reduce kids from starting up with early alcohol, tobacco use. We have several health promotion specialists working in this area, and in particular in the schools and in the community, to prevent tobacco and alcohol and other drug use and its consequences. And one example of that is one of our health promotion specialists, Julie Zamora, worked with Chief Potts and our city attorney, Sandra Johnson, last year to help get the social host ordinance passed. And so that was really a good thing, I think, for our community. Wednesday is all about communicable diseases, and this is an opportunity for parents maybe to look at how their kids are doing with their vaccinations. Are they up to date? Use proper hand washing. Ask your little kids in kindergarten, because they're really getting proper hand washing now, and how to sneeze properly into your sleeve versus spreading, you know, the germs out into the community. We're probably at the end of flu season now.
Hopefully.
But you got to watch out for those
Fingers
springtime colds. So that's all about Wednesday, communicable diseases.
Okay.
Thursday is about reproductive and sexual health, so it's promoting the importance of planning for a healthy pregnancy early on. So you really need to think about getting your body ready as you think about becoming pregnant. Studies are now showing that women just end up in a better place, and so do their babies, if their body is ready for that pregnancy.
Okay.
So that's really an important thing. And just to be planning your family versus letting your family kind of happen. So family planning issues. And Friday is about mental and emotional well-being. And that really all starts as soon as your baby's born. And I think that there are things that we can teach kids about their own mental health and how to, when they come up on a tough situation, how are they going to handle that? There's a lot we can do to help teach our kids about how to remain healthy, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually. All those things we need to be thinking about because they just don't happen naturally sometimes.
Absolutely.
So we're working in many of these areas.
Yeah. Well, you know, the importance of a lot of those kind of stem from the starting young, the influence at an early age. So that's wonderful that our public health division is addressing that. Talk a bit about, you know, what does Bloomington have planned for some of these events, or, you know, just overall, what do you guys do for us here with the city of Bloomington?
Well, I want to talk a little bit now, I'd probably be about, because we have received some state and federal funding to promote active living and healthy eating. And as a matter of fact, our mayor, Mayor Winstead, was instrumental in bringing about DoTown in Bloomington, which is that joint effort between Bloomington, Edina, and Richfield and Blue Cross Blue Shield to help make the healthier choice the easy choice here in Bloomington. So most recently we have been providing support and expertise and resources to the City Council as they study the issue of how we can create a healthier food environment here in Bloomington.
Oh, what kind of things have we offered, you know, the expertise? What sorts of things are we talking about with the council?
Well, some of the things are things that won't surprise you. We've had a very successful farmers market over the past several years. Our staff here has done a great job. One of the things we've been working on most recently is getting the technology to enable us to accept the EBT and the SNAP benefits. These are the food stamp benefits, so that people can actually use their food stamps when they come to the farmers market. Oh. And so that's one of the things we've been doing. With our community gardens, we have been working with them to make food donations to Veep. You know, and how can we make that an easier way to make some of that produce available to people who are struggling financially?
Absolutely.
Another thing we're working on is healthier eating policies, and in that area we're working with our with concessions in the city to try and make some healthier food choices available at our concession stands. So those are three things that we're talking to council about, and we're also looking at how we might make sure that women who are breastfeeding have a place they can easily breastfeed at city-managed facilities that are open to the public.
Okay.
That's an area that sometimes people are a bit surprised about that the city might be involved in, but as we look at public places, we do have a role in there. And just looking at nutrition standards. If we might want to set some nutrition standards for what's in the city's vending machines, because besides being having programs out there in the community as the city, we also are a workplace, and so we're involved in the worksite coalition that is part of DoTown.
Oh.
So those are just a few of the things that the city's involved in terms of DoTown and in making our communities healthier places to work, live, and play.
Never a dull moment in public health. You are busy over there. Well, you know, we'd like to thank Karen for being here with us today. For more information about National Public Health Week or more details about what Bloomington Public Health does for you, please log on to the city's website. It's now time for a short break. We'll be right back.
So, you have the contract?
Oh, everything's right in here.
He just got his license.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's upstairs in his room.
So just to review, no more than one friend in the car at any time. No cell phone use.
Right.
Seatbelts, of course. No alcohol. Jason, this is our attorney.
Find a way, any way, to lay down teen driving rules for your kids. For more ideas, visit us online.
For the trees on our street.
At my campground.
In my woods.
For the trees in my backyard.
I promise.
Promise.
We promise to not move firewood.
Because the emerald ash borer beetle could be inside.
I've seen what it can do to trees.
I won't be the one to spread the beetle.
Friends don't let friends move firewood.
I won't move it from my backyard to my cabin.
Or bring it home from camping.
I won't take it here or there. I won't take it anywhere.
I'll only buy it where I'm gonna burn it.
Or buy it from my local guys.
I promise.
For the ash wood in my guitar.
for the love of the game.
The wood stays put.
I promise not to spread the beetle.
For the trees in my state.
In mine.
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 In America.
We promise to not move firewood.
We have the power
To stop the beetle.
Join us at stopthebeetle.info.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, spring has made an early appearance in Bloomington, and that means residents are out enjoying the city's parks, playgrounds, and athletic fields. In an effort to get area parks and playfields ready for spring use, crews are out earlier than normal doing annual spring maintenance. Portable restrooms have been installed at most park locations, and the tennis nets are now up around the city. One thing residents can do to help is treat the grass fields with extra care. Early season conditions make the fields more susceptible to irreparable damage. There are some fields not yet open as conditions haven't been quite right. To see that complete list, log on to the city's website. And in the event of an emergency, Bloomington Public Health has recognized the need for as many helping hands as possible. That's why they've partnered with the cities of Edina and Richfield to create the Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT. And now this group is looking for more members to become certified. The next three-day training is set for Friday, April 27th through Sunday, April 29th at the Richfield Community Center. Spots are limited, so if you're interested, log on to the city's website right now and fill out an online registration form. The CERT team is a group of community volunteers trained in basic response skills by emergency personnel. This video was taken at an early November CERT training exercise where prospective members spent 3 days learning disaster preparedness, medical operations, response to infectious disease outbreaks, and more. This was all taught by various trained professionals. Volunteers even got a chance to put out a live fire, learning the importance of the buddy system when in emergency situations, proper fire extinguisher testing and operation, and finally, how often to get your fire extinguisher checked and where to go refill it. Once CERT members complete the 3-day training, they're recognized in their communities with a formal graduation ceremony. Again, space is limited for this training course, so sign up today. Now it's time for another City Faces segment. It's here that residents get the unique opportunity to step into the shoes of one of Bloomington's city employees. Today we'll take a look into the day-to-day life of Fire Captain Brent Carlson.
I literally grew up in this station that we're in today. My dad retired here back in '86 after 20 years, and I got on back in '88, about 2 months out of high school. And I love it. It's just so much fun. The very first one, and I'll remember it, we were doing a fire prevention out of Station 1. It was a group of 4 Station 3 firefighters, and we got called for a house fire in Station 2's area. So it was kind of funny, you know, looking back at that, and it was just a little mattress fire. And we went into the fire and masked up, and it's what they say. You don't see anything, it's hot, it's noisy, you find the fire, we put it out. We got yelled at, though, for using too much water. So. You know, I don't know if there's such a typical day. Some days we don't do anything. Some days we don't get any calls. We all respond from home. We all have other jobs, so we're all carrying a pager. When the pager goes off, we come down to the station. I am very fortunate. I live just down the block. In my younger days, I used to run at least a good block and a half to get to the station. I'd be the first one here. Now that I'm older, I drive down to the station. I'm still one of the first ones here and get on the truck and go. My other life, should say lives. I am very fortunate to be a full-time firefighter, paramedic with the Metawakiton Fire Emergency Services, which is basically Mystic Lake Casino. They have their own fire department and they run a fire paramedic service to take care of the casino, which is a 24-hour operation, and then people in the community. And then my other part-time job is I am a paramedic with Alina, which I have been there since 2000, and I thoroughly love working there because I get to still work in Bloomington, and I know a lot of the medics, and it's just a lot of fun. Yes, I have a 6-year-old, Brady, and he is a very energetic boy who loves Daddy being a fireman, loves coming down to the fire station and stuff like that. So, just like any other kid, like for me, you know, it's the big red trucks, it's cool. Same thing, big red trucks. I get to climb in the big red trucks, you know, so he gets to do it any day, anytime he wants to, you know, so he really, really likes it. There's so many, you know, I just like doing the job. But I have to keep into perspective, when people are calling me to work, they're having the worst day of their lives. Be it on the fire service, they're having a fire, okay? Their house is being destroyed. They're thanking us for breaking their house. It's like that's just kind of weird. When I'm there as a paramedic, someone is sick or dying, I'm there to help them out, you know, and it's, I did a fire prevention here the other day for my son, and I got giant 4x6 sheets of paper, all signed by his class, his class and the other classes. And I showed them to my wife. I said, this is what it's all about. Firefighting isn't for everybody. You know, you have to understand it's going to take away time from your family. And the way that families are doing stuff all the time now, it can be very time consuming. We train every week, there's fire calls, there's fire prevention activities, there's other stuff that I have to do as a captain, you know, my responsibilities, that take me away from my family. So you have to understand that, and you have to have a very understanding family that knows that, okay, when he or she leaves the house, they may not come back, you know. My wife is very understanding. She had a difficult time at first with the fire department, but after a little while she became used to it and saw how much of a tight-knit family. You basically come into another family.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. To get more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and events, visit the city's website. To check out past Bloomington Today shows or other city productions, visit Bloomington's YouTube channel, accessible right from the city's homepage. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. If Facebook or Twitter isn't your thing, sign up for eSubscribe to have updates sent right to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockerill. Thanks so much for joining us.